Hello, welcome to Oak Meadow's 4th grade math class. My name is Chris Brockway. Although my last name's a little hard to say, you can call me Mr. B. Okay? I'm 30 years old and I'm from Canada. I graduated from the University of Victoria and I love math. But enough about me. Let's talk about what you're going to learn this year. Oak Meadow has a great 4th year math class. First of all, we're going to look at addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction can seem sometimes very difficult, but when you practice it, it becomes quite easy. Next, we look at timetables. Timetables are how you use multiplication skills. After that, we'll look with division, with or without remainders. We'll get to that a little later because remainders we'll have to put some time into, so we'll get to that later. After that, we go with problem solving. Problem solving is talking about real life issues, but using math to solve the problems. Then we can look at measurements. We look at both distant measurements and how much things weigh. After that, we talk about a fun thing, money. We can add money, subtract money. We can talk about problem solving with money. It's very fun. After that, we look at fractions. Fractions are a lot more complicated, so we'll take a long time looking at fractions. And then long division. Probably the hardest thing you'll do this year. So we'll leave that till near the end. Now, this all seems like quite a bit of work, but don't worry, because we take our time with this. We go at a good pace, a good speed. And being at home, you can go at your own speed as well. So that makes it a little easier. Now, before we get started, we need to talk about a couple things. First of all, practice. Math can be difficult. Math can be frustrating. But it can also be a lot of fun and very interesting. And if you practice math, you'll become better and better. Most people are afraid of math, but that's only because they didn't practice enough. If you practice and work with your mums and your dads and practice some more, it becomes fun and very interesting. Next, everybody learns at a different speed. Some people learn faster, some people learn a little slower, some people learn in different ways. They have to think of certain objects in order to add. And that's okay because everybody learns differently. But I will teach you the way I think is best. It may not be the best for you, but that's okay. You can discover your own way to learn math. But I will try my best to teach you a good and proper way of learning math. Next, have fun. Math can be difficult. Math can be frustrating, like I said, but it can also be a lot of fun. And if you practice and spend some time with it, I'm sure we'll all have some fun. So, let's get started, shall we? Okay. Topic 1. We're going to look at addition. Now, most of you have seen addition before, and it looks like that. That symbol is the plus sign. Okay, so how do we add things together? Or why do we add things together? Well, let's take an example. Say we have, 5 balls. And we go to the store and we get 3 more balls. Okay? There's 3 more balls. How many balls do we have? That's why we have math. That's why we use addition. Because we take 5 balls and then we add 3 balls to it. And what is the answer? That's correct. 8. We have 8 balls altogether. Now, drawing pictures like this is a good way to do math. However, it takes a long time. And if you had to do this on tests and every time you went to the grocery store you had to draw pictures, it would take you a very long time to shop. And we don't want to do that. So, what we're going to talk about now is putting numbers in this form. So 8 plus 1 equals 9. So we've got numbers in this form. However, you have to put them in certain columns. What do I mean by columns? Good question. If we divide our page like this, okay, this is our equal sign. Remember that. This means equals. So we have our equal sign here. Whatever number is up here goes all the way to this side. Okay? So we put it 8. Then we have a plus sign here, and whatever this number is goes all the way to this side. Okay? And that's how you do it. Now, this may look the same. However, what if we have a number like this, 11? Okay? That's not much bigger. It's only one more than 10. But if we were to do this, 11 plus 7 equals what? That looks kind of confusing to me. So, we have to use our column system. Okay? Now we take 11 and we put it all the way to the right. That means that one goes there. That's the first one. Second one goes there. Now we take the 7, we move it all the way to the right. That looks much better. So now you add the 1 in the 7, that equals 8, and you add the 1 to 0, and that equals 1. And that's 18. Okay? So the main thing you have to remember is to push the numbers all the way to the right-hand column. And if you do that, you'll never fail. Okay? So, let's do a couple of examples, shall we? Okay. Okay. Okay, so as you've noticed, I've pushed them all over to the right-hand column. So that there's my first right-hand column, there's a right-hand column, and there's the right-hand column, okay? Just like we did before. So I want you to take a couple seconds and try this, okay? Does it jump out at you? Yes, it should. Okay, so we have 4 plus 4 equals 8. Very good. 9 plus 7 equals 16. Now if you'll notice something, even this bottom number is pushed over to the right-hand column. Remember that, it's very important. And then the last one, 11 plus 7, looks familiar. 1 plus 7 is 8, 1 plus 0 is 1. So we have 18. And that's addition. That's pretty much all there is to it. I mean, it may look confusing at first, but once you think about it, it's only representing objects. 4 apples plus 4 apples, you get 8 apples. 9 tomatoes plus 7 tomatoes, you have 16 tomatoes. And so on, okay? So it's not that difficult. All right, so addition, check. Now we'll look at subtraction. Okay, so the subtraction symbol is this symbol, and it's called a minus. Okay, now with the same thing as addition, we need the columns. Okay, so columns, columns, columns. If we have a number like 7, we put it all the way over to the right-hand column. 7. Then we put our minus sign. Then another number, let's say 6. Push it all the way over, and we have 6. Have this, what's this called? Yes, the equal sign. Okay, so 7 minus 6. At first you might want to add these numbers. Don't do that, okay? Because of this sign, you have to be very careful about this sign. So what does this mean? Let's take our balls again. 7 balls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, what should we do with those 7 balls? Well, we want to give some to our friends. Okay, how many friends do we have? We have 6 friends. They each get 1. So we want to give away 6 balls. So what do? We take away 6 balls from our 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many balls do we have left? We have 1. Okay? And that's subtraction. So these two are related. Addition, you're adding things. So you're adding 4 to 4 equals 8. But subtraction, you take away. You don't give them, but you take them away. So let's try a couple examples. Okay. Let's not do that quite yet. Okay, so here's some more examples. As you can see, I've pushed everything to the right. Remember the right-hand column. Don't forget about that, because it happens in all math. All math, you push things to the right-hand column. Okay, so we have 10. Let's say 10 apples. And we want to give away 6. So we have to take 6 apples away. Well, how many is that? You guessed it, 4. Okay? Now we have 7. 7 minus 2. Remember, this is the minus sign. 7 minus 2 equals 5. Yes. And the last one, 9 minus 1. You got it, 8. Okay, now you might be thinking, wow, he's doing this really fast. Well, it's not that I'm doing it fast, it's just I did a lot of practice. Okay? Everything you do in math, you use addition and subtraction. So you get a lot of practice. So as you do it over and over again, you get a lot faster. Now, a way to check check your answer, because these are your answers, right? So let's check 8. How do we know 8 is our right answer? Well, it's very basic. What you do is you take the 8 and you add it to the 1. Okay? So if we wanted to say, is 8 the right answer? Let's check. 8 plus this number, 1, equals 9. Okay? So 8 plus 1 equals 9. So all we're doing is reversing the order. Okay? This only works in subtraction though, so don't try this with adding. All right. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Excellent. So, we've done addition, the plus sign. Good job. Subtraction, the minus sign. Good job. But there's one more thing. What about adding more than one number? Okay, well, what do you mean? I'll show you. What if we have 4 balls and we go to one store and we get 3 more balls, but then we go to another store and we get 2 more balls? Well, how do we add that? Well, it's the exact same thing. You take 4 plus 3 plus 2 equals, how many balls? 9 balls, that's true. But when looking at this without the picture and without the answer, this might be a little scary at first, but it's not that bad. What you do is you take the first 2 numbers. You forget about the bottom numbers. Okay? Take the first 2 numbers. 4 plus 3 equals what? 7. Good job. So we got 7. So what you can do is you can cross those ones out, replace it with a 7. Okay? So now 7 plus 2. Not too bad. That's 9. Okay, so that's how you can work down your addition. This doesn't work with subtraction. You cannot do the same thing with subtraction, so don't even try. But with addition, it's pretty easy. Let's do another example. How about whoa, there's 4 numbers to add. Are you ready for it? Okay, let's take this one step at a time. We take our 5 and our 7. Forget about these numbers. We don't need them. Okay? 5 plus 7 equals 12. Good. 12. Now, what do you do next? You take 12 plus 2. Okay? And what does that equal? 14. Very good. And last, you take 14 plus 1 equals 15. Excellent. Okay? So this may look scary at first, but don't let it fool you. It's just addition. Okay? Excellent. So, that's all I had to say about addition and subtraction. Now, let's look at some sequences. Ooh, hard word. That's okay. It's not that bad. Sequences. What are sequences? Well, it's just a big word for saying things that go in order. So, let's do an easy one. What's this? This is a sequence. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Can you see the pattern that's arising? Can you see the pattern? Yes. We add 2 to each number. So we have 2 plus 2 equals 4. Then we have 4 plus 2 equals 6. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 8 plus 2 equals 10. And so on. These things go on forever. Sequences never end. Okay? So, now I'm going to try and trick you a little here. So if we start out a sequence, like that. Well, what are these two missing numbers? Let's figure it out, shall we? So, we've seen this before. 2, 4, 6. Okay, we know that we're adding 2 to each one. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 2 equals 6. 6 plus 2 equals 8. Very good. So you just put in an 8. And 8 plus 2 equals 10. 10 plus 2 equals 12. 12 plus 2 equals 14. Good. And then sequence is finished. Okay. One thing I should mention though, this number, when you are adding 2, if that's what you're doing for the sequence, you always do that for this sequence. It never changes. You won't add 2, add 2, add 2, add 3, add 2. No, you don't want to do that. Okay, so you're always adding 2. Okay, I'm going to put up an example and we'll see how well we do. Okay? Let's see my examples. All right. Oops. Okay, so, wow, we jumped all the way up to 40. That's okay, don't be afraid. Because these first two numbers, what's the difference between them? Yes, you guessed it, 2. So all we're doing is adding 2. No matter how big this number is, if we only add 2, you just continue on the sequence from the first number. So we add 2, 42. We add 2, 44. We add 2, 46. Yes. We add 2, 48. Just want to check. You add 2 equals 50. Okay. Good. You're on the right track. Then we add 2 again, 52. Add 2 again, 54. And then we have 56, and we're finished. Okay? So, these are sequences with 2. Let's try some harder ones now. What about 5? Can you add by 5? I'm sure you can. So, what if we had this? What about that sequence? Ooh, Looks a little different, hey? Well, let's try it out, shall we? So we start with 5. Then we have 10. How did we get to 10? Well, let's use subtraction like we did before. So we take 10 and we minus 5. Minus 5 equals 5. You guessed it. So, in order to get from 5 to 10, we had to add 5. Now, this is a good method to figure out your sequences, but we'll get more into that later. So we add 5 to it. 5 plus 5 is 10. We add another 5 to it. 10 plus 5 is 15, yes. Add 5 to 15, that's 20. Good job. 20 plus 5 is 25. 25 plus 5 is 30, yeah. And 30 plus 5 is 35. That means we did it right. As long as you get the right number at the end, which they gave you, you've done a good job. Okay, let's try a couple more just to make sure. Okay. Ooh, this one's tricky. Why? Because we jump right to a blank number. That makes it difficult because you don't know what your answer is here yet. But that's okay because we know what our answer is here. Okay, so we want to look at the difference between these two numbers. So what do we use? Yes, subtraction. So we take 60 and we subtract 50. Okay, so that equals 10. Okay, so we had to add 10 to get here. Now we had to add something 2 times. So how many things are in 10? Only 2 times. Well, how about 5 and 5? 5 plus 5 equals 10. Let's try that, shall we? So 50 plus 5, 55. Plus 5 is 60. So far, so good. Plus 5 is 65. Plus 5 is 70. Looking very good. Plus 5 is 75. Plus 5 is 80. We got to our last number. Very good job. Okay, so far, our sequences, we've done 2, 5. Let's do one more. How about 10? Okay? 10. So, what's a sequence with 10 in it? 10, 20, a couple blanks here. We'll end at 70. Okay, so 10, well, we're going to add 10 to it. That's 20. 20 plus 10 is, yeah, that's 30. 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 10 is 50. Okay, it's looking good. 50 plus 10 is 60. And 60 plus 10 is 70. And there you have it. Okay? So, those are sequences. Not too bad. We use addition and subtraction when working with sequences. Okay? So, that's pretty much all we have for this lesson. However, we're going to play a little game with you to help you with your addition skills. Okay, now this game, what you'll need for this game is a deck of cards. Deck of any standard playing cards. Okay? Now over here you'll see, well, a big jumble of numbers and letters, but it's okay, I'll explain it to you. What you do is you deal out the cards. First of all, you flip a card here. That's your very first card. Then you flip a second card and a third card. Okay? And then a fourth card and a fifth card and a sixth card, and you keep going like that on top of each other so that it's layered until you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards on the bottom row. Okay? So now you have this lovely pyramid. That's what it's called, pyramid. One thing we have to go over before we start is the number values, because not all cards have a number on them. Some of them have letters. Well, generally speaking, the king, or the K, is equal to 13. Okay? The Q, or queen, is equal to 12. The J, or jack, is equal to 11. The 10 is equal to 10. The 9 equals 9. And so on down the line. 2 is equal to 2. The A is equal to 1. Okay? The ace. So what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to find two cards that add up to 13. 13 is the magic number. Okay? So, what cards add up to 13? First of all, how about the king? Okay? King equals 13. Pretty easy, right? So if you see a king here, you can take it away. Not too quickly though. Only from the bottom. If you see this king here, you can't take that away because these two cards are covering it. So you cannot take a card away if it's covering it. Okay? However, this king, that's okay. So let's take that away. Okay? Gone. First card, gone. Now the object of this game is to get all the cards gone. But we have to start at the bottom. Start at the basics. So then, what other pairs of cards add up to 13? Well, the queen is worth 12, right? That's worth 12. And, what goes with 12 to make 13? Let's use subtraction. So 13 minus 12 equals, you're right, 1. Okay? And what card is equal to 1? The ace. So we add the ace, which is 1, which equals 13. Okay? So now we look out here. Do we have any queens and aces? We do have an ace, and we do have a queen, but we can't take that queen yet because it's covered by two cards. Okay? So we'll just keep that in our memory for later. What other cards add up to 13? Well, we used the king, we used the queen, let's use the jack now. So the jack is equal to 11. And what do we add to 11 to get 13? Let's use subtraction again. So we have 13 minus 11 for the jack equals, do you know what this equals? Yes, you do. It's number 2. Okay? And we can just use the number 2. So plus 2 equals 13. So, do we see any jacks or 2s? Well, there's a 2 and there's a jack and there's a 2 and there's a 2, but we can't use them yet because they're all covered. So let's go through and fill in the rest of these. 10 plus what equals 13? 3. Okay? And 9 plus 4 equals 13. 8 plus 5 equals 13. And 7 plus 6 equals 13. And all these are the two cards that add up to 13. So once you know these, you can start seeing it faster. Because now we look out and say, oh look, 6 and a 7. 6 and a 7. Add up to 13? Let's take those away. Okay? Now what else adds up to 13? Well, we have a 9 and a 4. A 9 and a 4. Let's take those away. Okay? So we're getting pretty good now. Now we can start to see, oh, an 8 and a 5. Okay, 8, 5, 8 and 5. Now, oh, look at that king. That king came out of there. Now we can take that away. Now, however, we're a little stuck. We have a 2, a 7, and an ace. Do any of those add up to 13? I don't think so. So you take the cards that are remaining. Okay? First of all, you dealt all this out, but there's still cards remaining. So what you do is you flip those up. Okay, so we take the first card, and let's say it's, I don't know, maybe a jack. We look at the jack. Jack and ace? No. Jack and 7? No. Jack and 2. All right. So then we can take the 2 out of there. Now we're left with a 3, a 7, and an ace. None of those add up. You can't use the jack anymore because you used it with a 2. So have to deal another card. So we deal another card. Say it's a 6. Okay? So a 6 and a 7, 13. Very good. Okay? 6 and a 7. Now an ace and a queen. You look up here. Queen, ace, 13. No problem. Okay? A 10 and a 3. Oh, look at all these cards. Okay? A 6 and a 7. Oh, there's another 6. Wow. That's, I can't help you on. You have to decide for yourself which card to take. But you can only take one of them, so let's go with this 6 and this 7. Okay? So then you're left a 2, a 6, and a 5. And the rest, well, I'll leave to you, because I don't know what the next cards are going to be. So if you play this game, I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun with it. Okay? So, we've discovered that playing games, playing card games, you use math, you use addition, you use subtraction, you use sequences. As you can see, these are all sequences. So we've used addition, subtraction, and sequences in a fun game of cards. There you go. That's proof. Math is fun. And it's kind of interesting too. I wonder how this is going to turn out. Well, maybe you'll have to tell me later. Okay, well, that's it for lesson 1. Don't forget, you have to practice. So if you turn to pages 2, 3, and 4, there's lots of practice for addition and subtraction. And if you go to page 5, there's lots of practice for sequences as well. So don't forget to practice. And this, yes, you'll see me again, is Mr. B. Okay, my last name is rather long, so we'll just stick with Mr. B. And we'll see you next lesson at Oak Meadows grade 4 math class. All right, see you next week. Bye-bye.